Hey guys, BJK here, and it's time for a Q&A. Sorry for the delay. I've either been out of it or just didn't feel like it, or things just didn't really line up, so let's get started right now. James Gray asks, BJ, since you are a Pokemon character, what is your Mega Evolution? 2. BJ, can I be a Pokemon character too? Well, for starters, I don't have a Mega Evolution. Not all Pokemon have them. Only certain Pokemon do. But I do have a secondary form. And of course, that's my Resolute form. Only so few Pokemon are lucky enough to have Mega Evolutions. And rarer to have the 2 Mega Evolutions. But there is a form that I'll obtain one day that's more powerful than even a Mega Evolution. What this form is? Well, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. You'll have to wait till the end of Super Smash Bros. Dylan's Adventures of Super Smash Bros., that is. As for your second question, hey, you do you, man. I mean, if you want to be Pokemon, sure, that's fine with me. If you want to be a human, sure, that's fine with me. Pony, that's fine with me. Dragon, that's fine with me. Hey, I don't have any say you want to be. If you want to be whatever, go ahead. Not stopping you. Next question. Alex the Red Jet Plane asks, favorite Shrek film? I don't know. I haven't really seen Shrek that much or in a while. But I have to think the first 3 films would be my favorites. Mainly the second or the third. Next question. Lucas Jordan asks, so, any thoughts on Gotchard so far? Also, how do you feel that Tristis is gone? Well, so far, it looks cool. All the transformations and forms and stuff look cool and all. But I live in America, so watching any form of Kamen Rider is really difficult. If anything, I can only really see the first and maybe the second episode on YouTube if I can. As for your second question, I'm glad that monster is gone. That wench has been hurting my friend for far too long. Personally, I wish I was there to give her these hooves myself because, hey, no one hurts my friends and lives to tell the tale. So I am grateful for what Glacia has done. If you're seeing this video, thanks, buddy. Next question. The Plushies World asks, who are your comfort characters? I'm honestly not sure what a comfort character is. If you mean characters that give me a comfortable feeling, then I'd have to go with the Lady Amalthea, Glisten, Celestia, and Luna, just to name a few. And those are just the characters off the top of my head. I'm sure there are more, I'm just not sure who. Next question. Angel Garcia asks, 1. Have you seen the Sonic 1 and 2 movies? 2. What do you think about Ash Ketchum from Pokemon? For your first question, I have seen the first movie, and I love it. Really glad that those guys heard the feedback from the fans and decided to change up Sonic's looks because, whew, I mean, come on! Are you kidding? What made them think this was a good look for Sonic? I'm honestly glad that developers went back and redesigned his look to look more like his video game appearance because, look at this. This is way better than what we were going to get. I honestly think the redesign saved the movie. Whew, I feel it would have killed the movie if they kept that ugly thing around. As for the second movie, I have not seen it yet. I want to see it though, it looks really good. Do not spoil that movie for me. As for your second question, I honestly love the character. I've seen so many of this guy's adventures, and, it's been a blast to adventure beside him. Ash has actually been one of my favorite anime protagonists for a reiteration of one of my favorite games, and, he actually kind of got me into Pokemon. I've always loved his adventures, including the movies. Not only was Kyurem and the Swords of Justice one of my favorite movies, I had lots of others. Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea, Giratina and the Sky Warrior, Lucario, Mystery of Mew, and my all-time childhood favorite, Rise of Darkrai, the first in the Pokemon movies Arceus trilogy. You know, it was actually this Pokemon movie that made me fall in love with the Pokemon Keldeo in the first place. Yeah, surprisingly, at the time, Keldeo was not my favorite Pokemon. But Kyurem and the Swords of Justice changed that for me. After seeing Kyurem and the Swords of Justice, I fell in love with the character. So much so that I decided to change my channel's banner and icon to have him in it. I had some good pictures, so I used them. That was long before BJK the Keldeo was even a thing. Back then, I was originally supposed to be a Keyblade wielder. Back then, he was a Keyblade wielder called Cryophrase, but I was still in the design phase, and I really didn't give any hints that I was a Keyblade wielder, because I didn't post things on my channel then. But that was until Wesley actually put me in one of his videos. And probably because of the icon and the banner, he put me as a Keldeo. Wasn't my original intention, but hey, it worked out. Keldeo would become my channel's main mascot and main character of my series. That day, BJK the Keldeo was born. But as time went on, I still had the thought of my old Keyblade wielder self in the back of my mind. Luckily, I was able to access and play Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, which also was connected to Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. While you could no longer play the game like you normally could, it still had access to the theater and allowed you to still make your own custom character. And from that, Cryophrase got redesigned and renamed into KB0, the original adventurer. Both characters would go down the same path through different dimensions to become who they are today. Oh geez, I've been on this question for way too long. Sorry for getting sentimental with you guys. On to the next thing. Wolfstar Convoy asks, Hey BJ, I got 3 questions, alright, here we go. 1, can you tell us more about Calyrex's Royal Guards and who the leader or commander is? If you have your own Keyblade with any power, what would it be? 3, this question is more towards the Swords of Justice. What do you 3 do in your spare time when you're not on a mission? Yeah, about that. The Royal Guard, in fact, the Pokemon a part of Calyrex's court, are actually Pokemon that Calyrex has helped out. Calyrex would help some Pokemon, and sometimes they would repay the favor by giving him food, flowers, stuff like that. But sometimes the Pokemon would take it another step up and would actually repay him with their allegiance. The king wouldn't ask them, they just did it themselves. This court, the royal guards and all that, are the Pokemon's way of saying thank you to Calyrex. And he decided to help them by giving special synergy stones to them that allow them to use stronger powers and even Mega Evolve without the use of a trainer. I know, in order for that sort of thing to happen, they have to have a strong bond with their trainer to unlock that kind of power. Safe to say, the bond between the Calyrex and his court is strong enough to allow this. As for Commander, I haven't thought about it. I'll get back to you on that. So far, just Calyrex commands them. But I'd like to think that before everything that has happened thus far in our series, the Swords of Justice would have been their commanders in a bit of a way. I mean, they would be at the highest ranking, so I don't know. I really haven't thought it through. I'll get back to you on that. As for your second question, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. So far, I've done a recreation of one of KB0's, one of the ultimate weapons forms as one of KB's ultimate forms. Yes, this form is actually a custom form I made for the KH3 Ultima weapon. Because of the KH3's Ultima weapon's design and color, I've always kind of joked about it being made in the image of the Falsticorn. In case you guys don't know, the Falsticorn is basically the pony variant of Lauren Faust, the creator of the beloved My Little Pony Generation 4. Heck, I know it's hard to see, but I've even based the form around the Falsticorn and this idea. The colors are white and red, just like the Falsticorn's fur and mane. The knees on the pant legs have Celestia and Luna's cutie mark. The sides of the jacket have Cadence's and Twilight's mark. In fact, there was supposed to be a form beyond this, but I haven't really completed it or worked on it in a while. Yeah, in case you guys haven't noticed, I made this thing a long time ago. And for your third question, let me go ask them. When I'm not on a mission, maintaining the Arkbird, or training, sometimes I like to settle down and get cozy with a good book. It helps keep my mind off things. Sometimes when I'm not busy, I like to take a walk in the forest. It's really nice to be around nature, especially when things are quiet. It's really hard to answer that. We're usually kept busy. But sometimes I like to stop and look at the stars. After all, Keldeo and the rest of us used to do so back outside the forest in Daybreak Town. Well, until... What he's trying to say is that was something we used to do before things happened, resulted in all three of us getting separated. But there was that one time Keldeo wanted to see the sunrise. Yeah, that moment's hard to forget. If anything, we are glad to be back together. Thank you for your question, Prince Wolfstar. Thank you for that, guys. Next question. Ruben Blackgrave asks, I'll just drop this question here. What's your favorite Kamen Rider show? Well, it's kind of hard to answer that. Being in my location, I can't really see Kamen Rider. My favorites would have to be Gotchard, Geats, Build, Forze, Exade, and Zeo. Next question. Pokemon Fangirl asks, do you plan to invite Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion on your adventures? Yes, but so far I'm keeping the cast small because I am single-handedly doing the voice of every single character in my series. So it's kind of hard to keep track of every character and every scenario. But with that being said, yes, they are going to be in my series. Christopher Branch asks, hey BJ, I got 2 questions. 1, have you heard about the movie Lady and the Tramp? Yes, I have. And did you know about what happened to Hunter the Hedgehog? Yeah, I unfortunately did. It was really hard to comprehend what happened. May he rest in peace, and may God be watching over him. Next question. Caroline Salamencia asks, meh, what the heck? For my question, will you add me in some of my, I'm pretty sure it's, we meant to say yours, in some of your adventures alongside my team in the future? After all, we're pretty powerful. I'll try, but like I said before, a lot of characters to keep track of. It's kind of difficult, so... But, yeah, I'll see what I can do. If I can find any adventures that have scenarios that could fit you and your team, I'll give you guys a try. Next question. Satellite Warrior asks, BJ, how do you feel about Dragon Tree Masquerade finally gone, now that Nocturne is finally at peace with herself? I feel great. I'm glad they're doing better now. I feel so happy for them. Also, I'm sorry if Search for the Soul is taking as long as it has. It will get done, I promise. Next question. Luna the Purple Dragon asks, Hey, good to see you again. Sorry if I've been absent lately. School's been getting hectic for me. Hey, that's fine. You think school is hectic? Try working a 3-day full time job and 2 days in the mornings. It's it's tough. Let me give you that. Uh, anyway, question one: what was your relationship with Princess Luna before she became Nightmare Moon? I've been curious about it for a while now. Question two: which of the swords of justice do you often look up to and why? It's alright to answer more than one if you can't decide. Luna and I were really close. Crazy close if you think about it. After Gleam took everything and I somehow managed to be transported to the fourth generation of Equestria, I was lost. I felt like I lost everything. Everything hurt. I was in a bad place. Luckily, Celestia and Luna decided to take me in. They took me in as one of their own and had been caring for me ever since that moment. I always enjoyed Celestia's company, but she was always pretty busy, with her duties and all that, so I couldn't hang out with her as much as I could. Luckily, Luna helped fill my loneliness. She was sort of like a sister to me, and we would always enjoy each other's company. We would always go and stargaze and all that. We had lots of fun together. I don't know what went wrong, but when Luna became Nightmare Moon, I froze. I I couldn't do anything. She was my only friend in that world, and I lost her. I knew I still had Celestia, but because of the situation, because of my emotion, I I couldn't talk to her. She did what she had to protect the kingdom and me, but she was also the reason I lost my best friend. Granted, I still gave her comfort when I could, but after that, my world just felt empty. Like everything I knew was just gone. As for your second question, I look up to all three of them. They're like my heroes. They're amazing. I don't know. Something about them is just, I don't know. I never really knew my own mom or my own dad, so they were the only family I ever had. That's why I look up to them as much as I do. Anyway, that's all for now. I look forward to seeing you all again during the rest of my adventures. Remember, no matter who you are, keep calm and fight on. Till we meet again. See ya!